Hi everyone, my name is CookieWolf. Today's video is story time. I'll be reading one of the backgrounds of the twins, Kitty and Bunny Wolf, on how they met the Wolf family. Sorry if I don't got a comic about this, but I'll do one later in the future, okay? So anyways, here's the story. Once upon a time, there lived two little kids, a boy named Bunny and a girl named Kitty. They both were twins, and they mostly did everything together because of the fact is Bunny was born a mute, and the only way he ever communicated was his sister Kitty. They had a loving family until one day the parents were behind bills and couldn't afford to pay the rent. They lost their jobs and didn't have any food on the table, so the parents decided to leave one night with the kids that were fast asleep in the car. They drove and drove for hours until they both decided to abandon their lovable children. They stopped at the middle of nowhere in the forest at midnight. They carefully took the kids out of the car and onto the soft wet grass and quickly drove off. Once daylight was up, they both awakened in the forest area. They questioned each other on where they were, where are mom and dad, even how did they get there. Bunny was the first one to get scared, but it was Kitty who had comforted him and told him everything will be okay. They both started walking through the forest trying to find their way out of it, but kept getting lost. A month has passed since they have seen their mother and father, but they didn't care about them. After all, they did abandon their 7-year-old children. Once they finally found a way out of the forest, they saw a village. They were so happy and delighted to see it, and quickly started running towards it. They saw a woman with a hood over her head, walking out of the village. She looked at the children running towards her and then said, "My gods, what on earth happened to you two little pups?" Kitty tried to speak, but fainted because of the lack of hydration, stress, and exhaustion. Later, Kitty awoke in a room with Bunny beside her, laying on a nice, soft, warm bed, with a tray of food on the nightstand. Kitty tried to wake up Bunny. In about 5 minutes, Bunny woken up, and Kitty pointed at the food at the nightstand, and they both quickly ate the food and left the tray empty. Both looked at each other. They were clean, clothed, even fed. Who could have done this? Was it a dream? Questions were buzzing through Kitty and Bunny's heads until a knock at the door came. It was the same woman with the hood over her head. She sat at the end of the bed and asked them, "I see you have a great lunch. Would you care for more?" Kitty and Bunny were quiet. "May I ask what happened?" Once Kitty heard those words, she was shocked and didn't understand what to say, but finally she told the mysterious woman what had happened. They both started crying until the woman's soft voice said, "Come here, do not cry. Everything will be okay. Now, I bow." The kids both hugged her while still crying. She hummed a soft little song to try to calm the kids down from crying, and it worked. Kitty asked the woman a question. "Who are you?" The woman looked at them and smiled softly and said, "My name is Wolf, and I will protect you like you're my own children. I bow." Kitty asked another question. "Can we call you Mama?" Ailish smiled greatly and said, "Call me whatever you want, my little pups." Kitty and Bunny hugged Ailish again, feeling that warmth and love again within her arms, and they knew that they were going to live happily ever after. The end. Thank you for listening to Storytime with CookieWolf. Happy birthday, John. I hope you liked this story, and I hope it brought great love and happiness in your heart. Love you always. Have a great bday.